Hi everyone, welcome to this Q&A. It's the first time that I do this, so I am so glad that you're here. So I took your questions from Facebook and I decided that I was going to go live just to answer them and give you my perspective. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone and I am checking out your questions. Also, if I'm looking away, it's because I have Facebook and YouTube Live. And so I might not be looking at your camera. But please feel free to post your questions in the comments and I'll get to you as I can. I do want to share a bit about me. My name is Gianni, and I experienced infidelity 7 years ago. I married my high school sweetheart, and he ended up actually having a baby, his first child, from the infidelity. Through our ups and downs, we were able to save our marriage, and now I dedicate my life to helping other women heal, walk away, or save their marriage, or just make the best decision. For me, it's all about empowering yourself and figuring out what your future is for you, despite the man. Not, just putting him on the side and learning to just put yourself first. So if you have any questions about that, I'm an open book, happy to share. But let's get started. Also, I want to mention there are a lot of YouTube videos out there and a lot of people, and everyone is so sad and so solemn. And I just want to say up front, I'm not like that. I'm happy. I'm healed. I'm whole. I'm complete. And I'm not going to look at you as a victim. I believe that you are powerful and that you are a warrior and that you are strong and you're going to come up and rise up against this. So no, there's no sadness here. This is just, okay, what are our practical steps to move forward? I don't feel sorry for you. And if that offends you, I'm sorry about that, because on the other side of this, I know that a greater, deeper, more amazing you is awaiting you. So let go of that victim title and really begin to empower yourself, because wonderful things can come from the negative experiences that you have in your life. Okay, so my first question is, what should I be doing as the betrayed spouse to help restore the marriage while the other spouse is remorseful and doing all the right things? Someone says, how do I let go? Okay, so let me get one question at a time. So let me start with this one and then I'll get to you. So what can I do as the betrayed spouse to help restore my marriage? And he is doing all the right things to move forward in the reconciliation process. So I really like this question because she's taking responsibility, and it's important to know that you can't control the other person or what they did or anything, but what you can do is know that you're responsible for you. You're responsible for your half of the marriage, right? So if the marriage failed, then you're up to 50% responsible, because a lot of times what we want to do is blame the cheating spouse because they did the most horrible thing. But infidelity is just a symptom of a breakdown in your marriage somewhere along the way. And so a lot of us are blindsided by it. But my opinion now is, okay, I wasn't paying enough attention, because there are always signs of a breakdown of a marriage. And just like that, it's just as easy to turn it around. So the good thing is that she wants to take responsibility and she's not just blaming the other person. So what are the right things to do? So the right things to do is to, first of all, the first thing I recommend is forgiveness. And that means is giving the other person a complete blank slate. That means you're not blaming, you're not bringing it up. You're not making them responsible for your feelings. Yes, they hurt you. No one's denying that. However, there's a difference. Your feelings, you're an adult, right? We're in charge of our children's feelings. And if something happens, we have to tend to them and all that. As an adult, you're responsible for you. You're responsible for what happens in and around and outside of your body. Because if you don't take care of you, who is, right? So even though the other person hurt you, it's your responsibility to heal. And so not blaming them, not lashing out at them, all those things are things that you should be doing as a spouse who was betrayed, if you truly want to save the marriage. Because the truth of the matter is that even though that spouse betrayed you, they still deserve a spouse who loves them, who trusts them, who sees them as a whole and complete person. So as a betrayed person, if you are planning on staying in that relationship, then you have to work your way to getting there. It's a toxic situation for you to expect someone to stay with you, even though you're pointing the finger at them, even though you're judging them, even though you're looking down at them. All things I did for many years, but it's not a healthy situation. And that's obvious, right? And a lot of times when we do have this victim mentality, we feel entitled to our tantrums and our outbursts, and we feel like, no, you did this to me, so now you're just gonna have to take it. Like, one thing that I used to tell my husband at the time was, you're at negative a million points with me. I mean, you had your first baby. You know how long we've been planning our baby all through high school, and you had your first baby out. Like, you're never going to catch up. You're going to have to work for the rest. You owe me for the rest of your life. And who wants to live like that? I mean, at some point, he just had to feel like, okay, well, what am I doing here if you're not actually moving forward? So the biggest thing is focusing on yourself, focusing on healing your feelings, and forgiving the other person. And that's really what you can do. If you take responsibility for you, then you're going to make a lot of headway. And I wish you all the best luck in restoring your marriage. Someone else says, okay, I don't want to read the whole thing because it's so long. Let me see. So her husband has her in limbo while he tries to gain clarity. He's in counseling. He filed for divorce. What should she do? So she wants to see, should she wait or should she hire an attorney? Her heart says stop and wait, and my head says go after all the lies. Hey, first of all, I'm going to be the first person to tell you, always, always, always listen to your heart. And I know that that goes against conventional wisdom, but honestly, all we have are our freedom, our desires, our dreams, and we have to hold on to those. It's so easy to let those go because of practical reasons. But at the end of the day, that I believe that following your heart is how you avoid regrets and disappointment. However, I don't believe that means that you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, waiting around for your husband to decide. No, 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 darling. This is the time where you turn into the goddess that he gets to miss out on. You're acting like you're the one missing out. No, no, no. He's the one that left. He's the one who filed for divorce. He's the one who has everything in the world to lose. So this is your time to focus on you, get your sexy back, heal your heart. What is do activities that you enjoy. You have to become the person who's vibrant again, who's alive again, who's having fun, who's enjoying her own life. He's lucky if he gets to catch up to you. Okay, so that's the attitude you have as you make a decision, because you can't decide until you're in a whole and complete place. When you're in this kind of in one day and out the other day, you're not committed to either moving on or saving your marriage, then you're not getting anywhere. So really heal yourself and become whole and complete, and then make a decision. So now just focus on yourself and what it is you want. And if he misses out on you, then that's up to him. But you're under no obligation to sign anything or do anything that you don't want. Okay, so that's that one. So another person says, I want to keep the names anonymous. I hope that's okay. So another person says that her husband has kept her isolated, that she moved 9 hours away, and he threw a fit if I spend time with anyone but him. How does she overcome the complete loneliness and feel like you're not smothering your child? Okay. So first of all, you have to get out of the victim mentality. You are a grown woman. And I say that with all love. And what that means is that no one can do anything to you that you don't allow. I mean, unless he had a gun to your head, you can't tell me that he made you move 9 hours away. It was a choice that you made to follow whatever he was saying. So this is a lack of boundaries. This is a lack of assertiveness, the inability to say no, because your perception is that he made you, but in reality, you chose to. And so even though it's difficult, the way to overcome this, and along the way, I'm going to be providing resources if I see fit for what it is that I'm doing. I have self-study courses. Heal Your Heart Intensive is really for the woman who needs to heal her codependency, lack of boundaries. She's not able to know what she really wants, all that kind of thing. So I'm going to put those links in the description. But so what you overcome the loneliness by realizing that you are all you need. You don't need your friends, your family. Of course, they're wonderful to have, right? But you can only truly enjoy them once you feel whole and complete within yourself. Once you stop blaming him for your circumstances. Maybe you didn't want to move. Then you should have spoken up. Then you should have not moved, right? But okay, now you're here. And so what do? So first of all, really feel those feelings, because a lot of times we push away our feelings and we say we're lonely, we're lonely. Well, yeah, well, you're not even there for yourself. So the way to be there for yourself and to overcome loneliness is that when you feel that coming up, sit with it and just sit there and just feel it. Wow, I'm lonely right now. I'm just going to be with myself. And the truth of the matter is that I'm not lonely, because I'm not alone, because I count, because I'm here. And then do something you enjoy with yourself. If you don't have fun with you, how will anyone else? You have to be your best friend. And so it starts with you being comfortable being alone. And then go out and do activities you enjoy. Go to a meetup, go to a conference, go to a seminar, go to a retreat. There are plenty of things that you can do in your local community that will expand your social circle. Okay. Someone says, do you ever totally heal? Do you ever stop being triggered? And my heart warmed when I saw this. Yes, you totally heal. I never thought, I used to describe my pain like drowning. I thought I was drowning in pain. Yes, you do heal. And yes, the things that used to be triggers don't trigger you anymore if you stop allowing them. So I know this wasn't part of the question, but I do want to get into this. How you heal a trigger is to not be afraid of it, because a lot of times we avoid those places or those reminders or those things, and we're so afraid of our feelings. Stop being afraid of your feelings. Feelings are just sensations. It doesn't mean anything. They just want to move through you. So when you feel a trigger, you have to stop and feel it. The only way to heal is through. You can't avoid it. So when you feel that intensity, just go there. Close your eyes, get some privacy, and get lost. And just let it flow without fighting, without feeling sorry for yourself, without feeling like you're going to die at the end of it. You won't. That's how you heal. And you do it every single time. And when you do it every single time, you're going to notice that each time it starts diminishing. It starts diminishing. And you start giving new meanings to those things. So for me, going to the state over was really difficult to me, and I hated that state. And I would say, but I had to go there, right? Because it's a borderline state to where I live, and so going there was a big trigger for me. And so when it happened, every time I had to go, I would say, no, there's no way that I'm giving this other person, because the other woman lived there. There's no way I'm giving her my power. She doesn't get to determine where I'm happy and where I'm not happy and how I'm going to live. No, I'm taking control over my life. And so when you make those powerful decisions, then you start to move forward in the right direction. So someone else says, my biggest fear of reconciling is forever feeling like I'm not quite loved enough. I always worry like I deserve better and he will never live up to my emotional needs now that he's strayed. I'm not sure how to get past that. Yeah, okay, babe, I totally get that. And here's the thing. One of the most surprising things about working with people with infidelity is that they feel that all of these things are surfacing because of the infidelity. No. These insecurities that you're feeling due to your husband's betrayal, you've probably felt them your entire life. These have been things that you felt with your parents, with whether it's a mom or a dad or an uncle, or your friends. These are insecurities that you have deep rooted in yourself beforehand. And what infidelity does is that it brings it all up. So you're feeling the accumulation of a lifetime of unworthiness, of a lifetime of not feeling good enough for your partner. So in your particular situation, you feel like he's never going to be good enough for you. So it's up to you to decide if you're willing to reframe how you perceive him in your eyes, because it's going to be your responsibility to decide if he's good enough for you and if you're good enough for him. You can't ever think that someone isn't good enough for you if you don't feel inferior. So any judgment that you're putting on someone else is a judgment that you have for yourself on some level. And so if you feel like you will always deserve better and you won't be able to change your perception, then what I ask of you is, why would you be with someone who you don't consider good enough for you? People only live up to your expectation of them. So if you already felt like you were too good for him and he didn't deserve you, then of course he's going to betray you, because there's, if you're, even if you're not saying that, you're communicating that in your body language and your interactions. When he does something wrong, you're giving him the "you're not good enough" look. We all do that to our husbands, and it's emasculating. Of course, it's not a reason to cheat. However, it's about you, it's about cleaning your side of things, right? You can't do anything about what he does, but in terms of who you are as a wife, you have to be responsible for your actions. And so if he's not good enough for you and you don't think he'll ever be, then don't reconcile, because it's a waste of time. If you truly deserve better, then you would be taking the steps to deserve better. Sorry. So that's what I would say is you have to decide if you're willing to, if he really is good enough, because don't stay with someone you don't think is good enough. Cheating does not make someone a bad person. And I know that's hard to hear. I know it. So please, if you're getting triggered, it's a good thing, because that means it's an opportunity for you to really heal that, really heal the victim mentality, and really feel it. So you are never defined by your actions. And I know that there are things that you regret that you've done in your past. Don't define yourself. We all make mistakes. We're all human. We all make choices that we regret to one extent or the other. And so when you stop seeing yourself as this high and mighty person, or him as this lowly person, then you start to break out of that. And then you can truly decide what to do from an even playing field, because you should be equal, regardless of what mistakes you've made in the past. Someone else says, how do I forget about the other guy who had the affair with my wife and move on? I'm trying so hard not to be vengeful and wanting to destroy everything about him. Yeah, okay, that's difficult. So one, I was obsessed with the other woman. And for me, it was a lot, because they shared a child. So it was constant contact between them. And so she was always on my mind. So one thing is that every time that this person comes to your mind, remind your brain what you want to think about, right? So if their name comes to your mind, say your name. So one thing I would do is when her name would come up, I would say Gianni. Like, you have to tell your mind, no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm staying here. This is what I want to focus on. And if you do that continuously, your brain will know, oh, okay, this isn't something you want to keep doing, because your brain gets hardwired with the habits. And so it's just forming a new habit of coming back. No, I don't want to think about her. No, I don't want to think about her. So you forget about the other guy by just forgetting about him. He doesn't exist. You're the one and only. She chose to be there. You chose to be there. Then that's it. He's not an issue. The only reason he's still an issue is because you're making it an issue. You're making it an issue by calling him a loser, for one thing. What that means to me is that you're still feeling insecure. You're still feeling inferior. We only want to bring people down when we're in the gutter. And so just focus on yourself. Bring the focus back on yourself. Really feel those feelings, and tell yourself you're the shit, because you are. And no one else gets to prove to you otherwise. You're not worthy of a lovely marriage and of a faithful wife because she cheated or didn't cheat on you. You decide that you're worthy first. You are worthy simply because you're human, because you exist. It has nothing to do with her. And so don't give the other person that power to decide, to let you decide what you're worth or not. Okay. Oh, this is one that I can relate to. So how do I stop myself from constantly worrying about how I measure in bed? I can't help but to wonder if my guy thinks that she's more exciting in the bedroom. So I can tell you that if you're asking this question, it's because you already have an insecurity about how good you are in bed. Again, has nothing to do with the other woman or your husband or anybody else but you. So yes, I guarantee that the sex is probably not fun for either of you, or maybe it's okay, but you think it could be better. That's all that's going on here. It has nothing to do with the other woman. So anytime you have those thoughts, remember that your perception is what your life is, because how you think about things, how you perceive about things will create the feelings, will create your experience. So when you do have those thoughts, oh my God, is she better than me? You say, why am I bringing her into the bedroom? Why in the world would I be thinking about her right now? No, I'm the shit. I'm the goddess. I take over this bedroom. I'm the sexiest woman alive. I put it down. I'm the best. Read the books. Listen to the audio books. Look up Sean Jameson's podcast. Do what you need to do to up your game and realize that there's no competition for you. This is one of the most wonderful things that's freeing about letting go of competition. Let's say I'm vanilla ice cream and the other woman's chocolate ice cream. All that matters is that you find someone who likes vanilla ice cream. You don't have to compete, right? Vanilla and chocolate, they're two distinct ice creams. There's no competition. I just want a man who likes vanilla. And if he doesn't like vanilla, then he gets to miss out. Go get chocolate. Ew, I don't want you. Don't bring them into here. And so you say, no, my man likes vanilla ice cream and he wants everything to do with me. And that's how you overcome that. So don't give the other woman any power. That's all in your head, my love. So then the other person says, when do you know enough is enough and decide to leave? My husband had a 2-year affair and I forgave and moved on. We got married and he cheated on me 5 months into the marriage. I was recovering from breast cancer. He lost his job and that's why he cheated. Okay. So first of all, I want to say, babe, no, that is not why he cheated. He didn't cheat because you were recovering from breast cancer and all that. And I want you to really sit with that and really feel that, because I can feel, I'm highly intuitive and I can feel the blame you're casting on yourself. You're taking responsibility for his actions. And no one ever cheats on you because of you. Cheating has nothing to do with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are perfect exactly as you are. So when do you decide enough is enough? It always has to be enough. So the point of this healing process is raising your standard for what you will and won't put up with in your life, in your marriage. And so you always have to be willing to walk away. The way to keep someone engaged and interested with you is to love them up until it's no longer in your best interest. It has to be a mutual relationship. And so you always have to be willing to walk away. If you're not willing to walk away, you are also not making the choice to stay. You're just being defaulted. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if that makes sense, right? But if you're not going to walk away, then you're not actually choosing to stay. So every day you have to be making the choice of, does this person deserve me, right? So enough is enough when you feel like you can't restore yourself, because what it takes to move forward is really two whole complete people. So you have to be willing to change your perception of yourself and your perception of him, and that will really get things forward. I mean, there is no limit, but you always have to put yourself first. And I think that one of the misconceptions about marriage is that we have to give it all up for the other person. And it's like, no, if you give it all up for the other person, then where are you? Then you just don't exist in the relationship anymore. And the other person gets bored. Of course they get bored. You're bored. You're bored with you. And so we have to stop getting lost in other people and hold on to who we are, what we want, our own thoughts, our own choices when we enter into a relationship. So if what you're actually asking is if there is still hope, there's always hope. There's always a way to move forward. I offer coaching services if that's something that you're interested in. But there's always there's other people out there. I'm not the only person out there. But yeah, there's no situation that you can't overcome with the proper guidance. Okay, so let me look at their other questions. Okay, so someone says, 15-year married, how do I let go? Okay, I'm sorry for the pain that you're going through. You let go by not seeing it as a waste, right? So if you're choosing to move on, then that means it's not a waste. It means, wow, thank you, universe. Thank you, life, for giving me 4 precious children, for giving me 15 years of love. Thank you. And if this chapter of my life has ended, that means something better, something more beautiful is on the horizon for me. And I'm willing to heal and open my heart to it, because life can only get better if you decide to. Someone else says, how do you truly forgive and move on from the thoughts and grief of what they've done? Okay, so in that, okay, how do you forgive when they still can't explain or how it happened? Oh, okay, you have multiple questions, so let me just take them one at a time. I think I'm lost. Can you guys still see me on Facebook? Can someone let me know? Let me still. Okay, there I am. Okay. So, one at a time. So, how do you truly forgive and move on from the thoughts of grief of what they've done? You have to feel it. The only way to really move on is to feel it and to stop fighting it, to accept it. You have to get to a place where you accept it. Okay, it's not okay, but this is where I am. I accept where I am. If I'm here, it's right where I'm supposed to be because my soul is on a mission to awaken me to something new. I have to feel this. I have to heal this. And you just take it one day at a time. I don't recommend making any long-term decisions. I don't recommend anything permanent, making any long-term plans. Just take it one day at a time and be easy on yourself. I have a Fair Alchemy course that is really an intensive, like energetic healing that really helps like uproot those kind of things. If you're interested, I'll put the links in the description. The next question is, how do you forgive when they still can't explain why or how it happened? So you don't need to know why or how, because honestly, the more you know, the worse it is in your recovery. I struggled for years with all the details of all the stuff personally. I got my husband drunk and then I just asked away. And it worked. I knew everything of everything. And it was awful. I had nightmares about it. I had, it was always replaying in my head over and over and over, all the things. If you know anyone who's actually caught their person, those images don't leave the head. So honestly, the less you know, the better. Why or how it happened, you don't want to know. It doesn't matter. There's never going to be a reason he can give you that will actually satisfy the pain and the hurt that you're feeling. So when you want questions and answers, you're looking for a sense of control. And in reality, you're never going to have control. You just have to surrender to the process of, holy shit, this happened, and now I'm on my path. The answer that you require does not come from asking him and digging up more stuff. How do you move forward when the grief is raw and real? Currently pregnant with our third child, and the other woman is claiming she is pregnant too. I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm so sorry, honey, and I feel your pain. I can definitely feel that. I was there. She was also pregnant. We hadn't had any children yet. You have to feel it and stop feeling sorry for yourself, because that's what I sense too, that you feel sorry for yourself, and it's raw and it's real, but it's happening. So just sit with yourself. Every time you feel it, just sit with yourself and just feel it. Let the tears flow. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a sensation. You are safe. And then you just let it flow. And if she's pregnant, then you deal with that when that happens. But before you even decide what to do in terms of your marriage, you have to know what you're doing with you. And that starts with just loving yourself and being with yourself throughout the process. And I'm so sorry. The whole co-parenting thing is a whole other issue that thankfully we were able to go through. But I know that there's not a lot of support out there. Of course, I'm always here if you need a friend. Also, I'm here on a professional level if you need that too. So someone else says, how do I let go? I'm not in love, but love him as my kid's daddy. I can't forgive enough to move forward, but can't let go of what we had. Okay. Okay, you're not in love with him, but you love him. Okay. I can't forgive enough to move forward, but I can't let go of what we had. Well, you're afraid to let go because you don't believe you're going to have something better. But in reality, letting go is the only way that you can ever even get him back or move on. Because if you're holding on to what you have, then you're closing your fist, right? And so if God or whatever you believe in is trying to give you something, you're saying no because your hands are closed. So the only way to receive something is to open up and trust that what you have, if it's truly meant for you, will stay there. And if it's not meant for you, that it will slip away. However, your hands are still open. And so something else you'll get in its place that will actually satisfy your needs. A lot of times we want to hold on to these relationships, but they were toxic. Our relationships were toxic. Look where they ended. Our marriage experienced infidelity. Obviously, that relationship was not working. So no, you don't actually want to go back, because what you had wasn't good enough to meet your needs or his needs. And so what you want is something new. So something new either with him or with someone else, but something new that is beneficial to both parties. And I'm gonna put the link to my YouTube channel in the description, in the comments, because I make videos about these things, so you can get, on a weekly basis, get videos about them. So Jamie says she walked away and she feels great. The only thing that sucks is that he hasn't seen the kids in months. Okay, well, there's nothing you can do about his relationship with his kids. If he's not interested, then that's his loss. It's not your loss. It's his loss. And so you can start changing the way you perceive. I believe in the law of attraction. I believe that we get what we're putting out in the world. And so if you start saying, I intend that he will start seeing his kids, and every time you think, no, he's not going to see his kids, you say, yeah, I believe he's going to see his kids soon. My kids are going to have a dad in their life. And you keep saying that, and you harp on it, and you harp on it, it's going to happen. You're welcome. Thanks for watching. Someone else says 14 years with him and it was hard to walk away, but best choice for me and our kids. Work on yourself and your kids. Yeah, I mean, walking away is easy because out of sight, out of mind, right? So a lot of times when you walk away, you don't have to deal with that. However, if you don't heal, if you don't uproot the issues, you're going to create another toxic situation in a different relationship, because we only do relationships one way. We learned how to do relationship while we were growing up in our household. Oftentimes we haven't seen a good, healthy dynamic, and we bring that into our marriage. So yeah, maybe we can get away from the cheater in this situation, but if you don't actually heal the way you know how to relate to other people, it's just going to create a new, different kind of mess with someone else. So it's really about healing yourself, because marriage is mostly between you and you. Because everything that you have going on in your internal world in terms of your psyche is what is reflected to you in your relationship. So that's the most important thing, is just to know that the other person isn't so much how you save your marriage. You save your marriage by saving yourself. And whether or not you walk away has little to do with it. It just has to do with how you're able to shift your mindset. Okay, so someone else says, how do you start trusting him again? Wait, let me see. If you plan to stay. Okay, so one of the things that I teach my clients is that trust has very little to do with the other person. It's more about trusting yourself to be able to take care of yourself. Because when we go through these traumatic situations, we feel like, how did I get myself here? Oh my goodness, I can't trust myself. And again, I'm gonna keep going on this, is that you felt this all your life in through different ways of indecisiveness and being unable to make the decisions you believe that you can trust yourself with. And so that plays out in your marriage, sometimes through infidelity, sometimes through other things. But you start trusting by trusting yourself, by setting boundaries, by saying, making a list of what your needs are. Forget him for a minute. What are your needs in a relationship? Make a list of your minimum requirements. And you say, from now on, this is what I want in my relationship. And you start visualizing yourself as that person, and you start holding yourself at that standard, at that level. And so when you hold yourself to a new level, everyone around you transforms. You don't even have to say anything, because your energy is different. And so if you're choosing to trust him again, then you're going to trust him again. That means that when the doubts come, you say, no, I'm the baddest bitch in this place. No, he only has eyes for me. No, he only wants me and only me. No, I'm the best thing that's ever happened to him. No, being with me is a heavenly sexual experience. And you keep yourself on the train of thought that actually serves you. Of course, if you need help with that, that's why people like me are here to help you with coaching. So are there any other questions, or can we wrap it up? Let's see. I'll give you guys a minute. Otherwise, I'm going to put my links in the description below in case you want additional support. Thank you so much for participating with me. I had a lot of fun doing this with you ladies. All right, I don't see. Oh, it's really helpful. I'm glad that you found it very helpful. Maybe I'll do it every Monday or something. I really enjoyed it too. So I hope you ladies have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Bye.